So welcome, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here, for sure. It's good to have you at a first of its kind of event, joining all these Arab social media leaders. And at the same time, it's very important for us to hear from people like yourself and people who are experienced in this sector to understand and benchmark ourselves and learn. So I understand you had a talk today.
Yes, it was a question and answer session.
Okay,
so,
how did it go?
Really well, as far as I thought. I mean, we had 45 minutes where Faisal was asking lots of questions, and then he opened it up to the audience, and we had many, many questions.
I'm sure.
Some quite subtle, actually, that were hard to answer. For example, I was asked whether in the era of social media, we might see so much suffering that we become inured to it, that we no longer care anymore. That actually this is a downside of social media. And other questions like that. It was a really good experience.
And to introduce yourself to somebody who's watching the video.
Yeah.
What is your background and what specialty are you bringing?
So I'm a physician, I'm a doctor, and I'm a social scientist, and I'm a professor at Yale University in the United States, and I'm the co-director of the Yale Institute for Network Science, which is a group of professors that are computer scientists, mathematicians, social scientists, neuroscientists, many different disciplines that study networks in general, including human social networks. Keep in mind, social networks preceded social media, right? Humans always had friends with each other. We always had friends, and their friends had friends. And social media just moved that type of regular human interaction online.
Yeah. I've been talking about this maybe 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. The circles of friends was maybe each person would have had 3 to 4, but suddenly with social media it's magnified to 40.
See, I'm not sure I agree with that.
I'd love to hear, yeah.
Yeah, so I think these people that you think are your friends,
they're not
your friends.
Yeah.
No. They're your acquaintances. And I think that what's happened is that we have taken this word in English and probably in Arabic, which had a very deep and important meaning, our friends, and now apply it where it has no business.
Very good point.
And if you could talk to my great-grandmother, who was born in Greece before 1900, she's no longer alive, and if you could ask her how many friends she had when she was a 10-year-old girl in her village, she would say she had 1 or 2 best friends, and there was a group of 4 or 5 girls that played together and were really close through their childhood. And if you could talk to my daughter, who has an iPhone in her pocket, and ask her the same question, she would give you the same answer. Right? Yes. And the reason for this is that there's something about our ability to form friendships which hasn't changed across time, and that's the human mind, right? So the social media technology is grafted onto a very deep and ancient foundation.
Yes.
And it's that foundation, I think, that we have to keep an eye on when we look at how this technology affects us and how it works.
Do you think, I really agree with you on the wording that has been used with a lot of social media networks, as it can be friends, it can be followers, it can be whatnot. And do you think this magnification of a network and the acquaintances that you mentioned, has compromised our focus on our real friends? Or do you think it's
No, I don't think
irrelevant?
so. I don't think so. I think when the telephone was invented, people were very worried that it would corrupt social norms. In the olden days, before you could phone ahead to say that you were coming, people would show up at your door. Your friend would knock on your door and say, "Hi, I'm here." And actually, they would stay with you for weeks because they had taken so long to get there. They would move into your house, right? And this was normal. And this was considered an appropriate and normal state of affairs. And people were very worried that the telephone would ruin these social behaviors, these social norms. It didn't. It just changed them. You still have your friends. You still go on visits. You're still happy to see them. And I think the same is true of social media. I don't think your ability to interact with your friends through social media fundamentally changes your taste in friendship. For example, let's say you were the kind of person who was antisocial and didn't have many friends and didn't want many friends. The fact that I invent Facebook isn't going to force you to have friends, right? So, or let's say you have guys that you like, someone you went to school with when you were 7.
Yeah.
I can't just say, well, he's not on Facebook, so don't be his friend anymore. You're still his friend.
Last question.
Yeah.
I think you're the right person to ask. we have this issue today where you go to a restaurant or you go to an event and you have 5 kids or 5 teenagers sitting down and all of them are.
Yes, looking at their phones. That's so depressing.
Do you think that has a bad effect
Yes.
on the actual social
Yes,
skills?
I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, because it's something that has.
Yeah, I
now
do.
we have rules. I know there is the stack up rule
Yes.
where you put your phones in the middle and nobody touches
Yes.
it. And I think we need to find a balance.
Yes, I think you're right about 100%. Actually, I think that's right.
Do we see you next year, hopefully?
If you want, I'm
Okay,
happy
I
to
think
come
it
back.
will be great, and I think it will be a much bigger also event.
Thank you so
Good
much.
to have you here.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you. Appreciate it.